You know, there's one very honest thought that many people avoid. You already know what to do, but you're not doing it. And it's not because you're lazy, not because you lack discipline, and not because you're not ready. The reason is deeper. Because if you're honest, you've already heard enough. You already know that you should be yourself, that you shouldn't fear judgment, that you shouldn't depend on other people's opinions. You know all of this, but in reality, nothing changes. And at some point, a thought appears. What's wrong with me? Why does it work for others, but not for me? But the truth is different. You're not simply not doing. You're holding yourself back, and those are not the same thing. Because if you were just not doing, there would be no tension. But there is. You think, you analyze, you feel what needs to be done. But inside, something stops you. And this is where it gets important. You're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You're stuck because every action is connected to inner tension, to risk, to the feeling that something might go wrong. And let's be honest, when you think, I need to do this, what do you feel in your body? Lightness or tension? Doubt? Heaviness? This is the key. Because you don't choose through logic. You choose through your state. If there's tension inside, you postpone. If there's resistance, you distract yourself. If there's fear, you find reasons not to act. And this happens automatically. That's why the problem is not action. It's the state you're acting from. And here's the most important part. You cannot force yourself to act through pressure. It may work for a moment, but then you fall back because the state hasn't changed. And this creates a loop. You get inspired, you decide to start. You take a step, you feel tension, you stop, and you're back again. And the more this repeats, the less you trust yourself. You start thinking, here we go again. I didn't finish it. And that only increases resistance. So how do you break this? Not through force, but for real. First, stop pushing yourself because pressure creates more resistance. Second, shift your focus from the action to the state before the action. Not, what do I need to do? But, what do I feel when I think about it? This changes everything. Third, don't start big. Start where there is at least a little lightness, even if it's a very small step, but without inner force. Fourth, allow yourself to move slowly. This is hard, because it feels like you should go faster. But speed without stability always leads to falling back. Fifth, notice the moments when you do act, even a little, and see that you handled it. No disaster, no collapse. And this builds inner trust. And now the most important part. You already know what to do, but you don't need to do it through struggle. You need to change the point you're acting from, and then action becomes not effort, but a continuation of your state. And in that moment, resistance disappears, movement appears, and you feel that you actually can. And if right now, you feel a bit more calm inside, a bit more clarity, that means you're already stepping out of this loop, and that's what matters most. Because this is where real movement begins. If this resonates with you, make sure to subscribe, because this is where you start understanding yourself deeper. And hit like, so this video can reach people who feel stuck, because there is another way. And remember, anything is possible.